Back in the den, our very first episode of 2025. Coach Terry Pack with us. Terry, hey, Happy New Year. I know it's been a while, and I apologize. You guys didn't really take a break over the holidays. Let's go way back to the Oklahoma duel. You guys appeared on ESPN Plus, and we were talking, and I floated it out there that day. I said, is this like the highest profile that an SCC sports team has ever performed on? And nobody answered, but I gotta believe that it was.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when we got invited to come to Oklahoma, we thought it was a great opportunity. And then when the University of Buffalo backed out of their quad, they allowed us to wrestle all three. So, we got to wrestle Oklahoma, we got to wrestle Cal State Bakersfield and Chattanooga. So you're talking two top 25 nationally ranked D1 teams. And, those are kind of things that kids are going to remember forever. Their parents were able to watch it on ESPN, and I mean it's a pretty cool deal, right? And the kids battled hard, and they learned some great lessons, and they learned what it's going to take to get that next level. And I could have been more happy with the effort that they put out. Or just like their attitude, their sportsmanship, the whole thing. And we got a ton of compliments, not only from the other teams, but also from the announcers, obviously, which you were just talking about earlier. So, I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better experience.
Yeah, and it looked, you guys are very active on social media and your social media feed. You took these kids around. It wasn't all just a wrestling trip. I mean, you worked in, and it wasn't fun either. This was like a nice experience overall for these guys.
I mean, we went to Stillwater. We went and watched a top 10 national duel at Oklahoma State. So they got to see that environment. Then the next morning we took them to the Hall of Fame, the SC Hall of Fame, and they got to just see the legacy of our sport, where it came from and how it started. And then, we went to Norman and we had a great experience there. And, I think those are the kind of things that this program will be remembered for long after the wins and losses.
That's right. And that was another thing we talked about on our last visit. You said this is not really so much about the participating in the wrestling. This is just an experience, and it's good for this program. And it really turned out to be.
Well, I mean, what we want people to understand is, like, when you come here, we're gonna work your butt off in the room, man. I mean, you're gonna be miserable. But at the same time, we want to treat our kids well. We want to give them experiences that maybe other schools don't. And, we've been fortunate that we have an administration and people behind us that support what we do for the kids.
Yeah. Okay, so you had that duel. That was really your last live action, wasn't it? Before the holidays.
Right.
And then the last time we talked, you said, yeah, we're going to bring them right back here. And you got right back on it.
Yeah, we literally came. The guys left on the 23rd, and then we were right back on the 1st.
Yeah.
And we had great practices, and then they had 2 days of practice, and then we packed up and left for Mason City.
Yeah, and you've been performing well on the road. And let's go back. I don't know what time you got back to Beatrice last night.
We just got back 20 minutes ago.
You just got back 20 minutes ago, and that was big. You knocked off a big NAIA team.
Yeah, and I mean, we wanted that one, right? Because they came in here and stung us last year in our own place, and to be able to do that, compete with those guys. And Bo's a great family friend of ours, and he actually used to wrestle for me. Way back in the day. So, I mean, it's a cool experience, and I got to meet his daughter, and it was a great experience for us, and it was a good win because, a lot of those kids are seniors, and it's a big difference when you have freshmen going out and having to step up and do those things.
Yeah, boy, what does that do to your schedule? It's kind of creepy quiet here this afternoon, but I know that's a rarity.
Yeah.
So they got the day off today.
No, absolutely
really?
not. No, we got back 20 minutes ago, and so they're going to change, get ready for practice. No risk.
That makes me tired.
Yeah, no rest for the weary. But our kids want our kids want it, right? And I think that's probably, hopefully, the thing that people see with our kids is we wrestle hard, we have a good time. We try to treat them well. We try to treat them with respect. We try to work their ass off. And we wanted to win national titles. And we wanted to move on to the next level.
I tell you what, the hard work obviously is paying off. Now Keith Smart knocked off a kid.
Yeah.
That was big news.
So Keith Smith came in.
Keith Smith, yes, I'm sorry.
And, he knocked off the number one in the country the first week we got back at the Battle of the Belt. Then we went out to national duels in Oklahoma again, and Keith knocked off the new number one, the number three, the number 5, the number 6, and the number 8, all within 10 days.
That made headlines.
It made headlines everywhere.
That kid really, was starting to be profiled.
He's talented, right? He's got to clean up all the other parts of his life if he wants to win a national title. And when he does, he may be the most dangerous kid in junior college wrestling.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we were out there at the Salt Dogs this summer, and he came with you.
Yeah, he's a great kid.
He is a great
Great
kid.
kid.
I was very impressed with him, and I always have been. Even though I butchered his name. And Keith, I am so sorry. He's the way.
Yeah, most people don't put Keith and Smart in the same sentence, so I'm sure, Keith, if you're going to watch this, take that as a compliment.
I might have to come in disguise the next time I work here. And plus, you had another big signee, too. Your kid coming out of this program signs with a big-time program.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool, right? Because Corey literally was one of our top first 3 recruits ever at SCC. And a large part of that's because Coach Duhan in Sulphur, Louisiana was a friend of mine. And, when Corey came in, he literally missed a year and a half of his high school season because of back-to-back surgeries. So he has done everything right. I mean, he's changed his life. He's a good human being, right? He's got a good soul. He's a good person. Works hard. He's a good leader. And he signed with Quincy, Illinois, and with the University of Quincy. And we're super excited about that because they're a newer program as well, but they're D2. And the cool part is my son is also the coach there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's going to be...
Your coaching tree is ridiculous.
It's going to be really cool, right? It'll be it's pretty neat to say... this person that I've known for this kid, Corey, that I've known since he was this big, used to come up to camps. And I used to go to Louisiana and do camps every year. So I've known this kid since he's this big. And now not only did he win for us and he's doing great, but he's going to go on to wrestle, and he's going to go on to wrestle for my son that he's known for a long time too. So it's a cool story, right? And
it is. Definitely.
At the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to have a good story, and you want a happy ending. And I think Corey's good enough to be an All-American and get to that next level. And I think they're going to do great things for him over there. Between Jimmy and Cody, they're 2 very, very great young coaches, and they're going to help him a lot.
Yeah, it's all about relationships.
It is.
It absolutely is. And speaking of relationships, it's your wife's birthday today.
It is.
And we've been doing the Dan here a little over a year. Well, the one thing we've not talked about, you got to have somebody by your side that's there to support. And whenever there's anything going on here, she's here. But, here you're saying you just got back into town 20 minutes ago. It's been a little while since you've even seen the woman.
Yeah, and she knows.
I mean, she is right there for you.
Yeah, and she knows. She's like, all right, I'll see you when you get back. And I'm like, all right. I mean, we've been together for 33. We've been married for 33 years, right? So I think the piece is, when you look at it, is she was there when I was still wrestling in college. So she understands
She kind of knew what she was getting into, right?
And she's not just one of those people that are there. She's like there. She's at everything, right?
She sure is.
And she jumps in the concession stand and helps, and she helps
Selling
clean, and
swag.
she's the type of person that every wrestling coach needs, because it's a hard life, because you're on the road a lot and you spend a lot of nights in the office. I mean, I was here Christmas morning trying to get some calls and stuff done, because we have a couple other transfers coming in, next week, and we'll talk about those at another day once we get them in here and get them into classes next week. And
That's awesome.
should be great.
Yeah, man. And it's, once again, you just got to have that support system.
Without it, you can't make it.
And obviously she knew what she was getting into on a deal like that.
Yeah.
Let's look ahead. What's coming up?
So we're literally got some time off.
Okay.
Because as we talked about last year, we front load our schedule.
Yes.
And then we really make that back end a little more time about being prepared mentally, being prepared physically. So like right now, we're gonna get off until the end of the month with the 1st. So we don't compete again till the January 30th, February 1st. So that'll be nice. And then we come back with a home duel on the 7th. And we head out to Trinidad for a set of duels. And then, regions is our national qualifiers the 23rd of February. It's right around the corner.
I just can't believe that is here already.
Yeah.
Before you know it, we'll be at the Mid-America Center.
Sure hope we have a lot of them there.
Following you guys once
Yeah.
again this year. I missed it last year. I'm not doing that this year.
Yeah, you'll love it, man. It's
I'm
a
gonna
great
be there.
experience. It's a great experience.
Terry Pack, thank you for joining us, man. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate you, my
Hey,
friend.
man, it's incredible to watch what's going on here. Really is.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, that's going to do it for this edition of the Den. But thank you for coming in here and listening to us just kind of wing it here.
Yeah.
We don't screw
Best
it.
way to do it, right? Best way to do it.
Seems to work out. So we do appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next
Go
time.
Bobcats.
Dan.